Hey everyone, David with the Freeze Dried Business channel. Hey, it's another vlog video where I'm just doing raw footage of my daily routine as a freeze dried business owner. If you're new to this channel, if you're wondering about freeze drying, wondering about what this freeze dried craze is all about and whether you should start a business, or if you currently even have one, you're just wondering what it's like out there for other types of people running a freeze dried business, well, this is the channel for you. And this vlog series that I'm doing is just kind of a documentation video-wise of my life as a freeze dried business owner. Now, I do not do this full time. I actually have a very sustainable side business running my freeze dried business. It's called Freeze Dried Depot. I've been running it for about 3 years as an owner. I have a full-time job. I've got family. Life is very, very busy. And right now it's a beautiful evening in Boise, Idaho. And I am just outside of my commercial kitchen that I rent. And I just wanted to just kind of document what tonight is all about. Well, I did some blueberries. I poked them with the roller berry. If you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check out that. It's called the #1 freeze drying tool. It's a great video. It's been trending a lot and I just really love the tool. So I already finished poking the blueberries. They've been frozen for a while. And so I'm back now at the commercial kitchen to put them into the freeze dryer. That's kind of, I would say, the tough part about being a freeze dried business owner, where you are renting a commercial kitchen, some type of restaurant, church, something like that, and you're still doing it as a side business. Now, if you're retired, if you've got your house paid off, you've got no debt, or you're just like going for it and you don't really, maybe you lost your job and you're just like, hey, let's do freeze drying. Well, that is awesome for you. Most people are kind of like me. Hey, we're trying to dabble in different entrepreneurship type of opportunities where we're starting to freeze dry. We've started the business or we've been doing it for a while, and we just have a nice little side business earning us some type of income that helps complement different types of lifestyles that we want. Now, personally for me, I have been doing this freeze drying business both very large scale. So I ran a cottage food business and we had 5 freeze dryers at one time, if you can believe it. And I ran it with a friend of mine, and we had multiple young kids, a wife, significant others. We had full-time jobs, a lot of other things that we wanted to do, like hobbies, and 5 freeze dryers running, even with 2 people helping out, it's a lot of work. And if you've been in freeze drying before, or if you're looking at it, cutting candy and unwrapping taffy, unwrapping Jolly Ranchers, cutting all those pieces so that they're bite-sized, and bagging it, all that type of jazz, it takes a lot of work. Now, it's fun, and I've talked about, reasons why you should start our business, but those are just kind of ways in which I've documented that it's been an interesting business, because you really have to dedicate a lot to the time commitment, and sometimes you just don't realize what that time is. So anyway, I'm outside of my commercial kitchen and I prepped the blueberries already. Well, that was previously, I freezed it, and now I'm back again later this evening. It's about 9 o'clock at night, but it's beautiful and my kids are laid down for the night. So now it's my time to work, the life of a business owner. So what I'm going to show you today is, well, on the inside of my commercial kitchen, just show you kind of what I'm going to be doing with the blueberries. It's really simple. I've already started pre-freezing the freeze dryer. And if you're not familiar with Harbor Strike freeze dryers and most other freeze dryers, I've got a Stay Fresh that I just bought, but you have to pre-freeze the machine, especially if you've got frozen or pre-frozen type of product. So I'm pre-freezing the freeze dryer. I'm pre-freezing the freeze dryer, so I kind of want to make sure that it's down to under 32 degrees. And then I'll put the actual blueberries on the trays and then start the freeze drying process. Now, since it's the evening time, typically the freeze dryer process for fruit, depending on how much you put in there, I'm going to show you how much I put on these blueberries in this amount of cycle. But typically, you're looking at about a 24 to even upwards of 42 hours for a cycle to complete on fruit. That's just because with fruit specifically, has a lot of water activity. So that freeze drying process of removing the water and then drying it all is very lengthy. So it's the evening time, 24 hours from now. It's gonna be 9 o'clock on Thursday. And then I'm probably gonna have to come in the morning or Friday evening, just with my schedule, and get the blueberries out. So you kind of have to find a good cadence. I like putting the fruit in the evening time because I just kind of have a good system in terms of I'm either gonna wake up early, get my kids to daycare, and then I can go stop by the kitchen and get this stuff out, or I'm gonna have to come in the evening just like I am today. All right, so let's go ahead and go into the kitchen. And one thing to know about finding a commercial kitchen is I've talked about this in my 10 steps that I would take if I was starting a freeze drying business, is that I would look at restaurants, I would look at actual commercial kitchens that are rentable, commissaries, as well as I would look at churches. And the reason I would look at those different areas is because they are looking to rent their kitchen out for additional income, and usually you can negotiate a good price. Now, I've been asked a lot of times how much I pay for my commercial kitchen. I'm not willing to reveal that. Reason being is, there's just some things that I think, you have to negotiate yourself, and it's part of your own business strategy. So I've been kind enough to kind of review a lot of different things in my business, but that's just one of them where I've negotiated a good price, and you can do the same. I'm not saying it's just exclusive to me and I just got in early or I got this like sweet deal, but it's up to you to find that spot, see if it works with your numbers, see if it works with the distance and location from your house or your work, so that it's convenient for you to kind of do these drop-bys just like I'm doing, because I'm about 4 to 5 miles away from my house. So that's about a 10-12 minute drive for me. That's pretty convenient. But just like I am tonight, I left, that's 12 minutes. Then now I'm at the kitchen doing this video, but if I wasn't doing this video, that'd be 15 minutes to 30 minutes to pre-freeze that freeze dryer. So now we're at 45 minutes, and then you're gonna put in the fruit and do your cycle, make sure everything's kind of locked up, clean, things like that. So you're here for about an hour at least, and then you're driving home. So all in all, it's about an hour and a half ordeal for me, labor-wise and time commitment. So that's one thing that I would suggest, is make sure you're looking for a convenient spot so that you can either have it very quick to your home to kind of do the ins and outs of candy, things like that. Or, if you have the time, maybe you do find a really nice kitchen that has a really good rate, and you're just gonna dedicate a full Saturday or full Sunday, or even if you work a 4-day work week, you're just dedicating all that time. So let's go ahead and go into the kitchen and I'll show you the blueberries, and let's just get started with showing you my process for that. Hey, I apologize for the audio side of things. I'm just doing this on my iPhone because just the microphone wasn't working right, so I'm actually talking a lot louder than I want to be. But this is kind of what my kitchen looks like that I rent. It has everything that I need. It has the dishwashing so that I can get the trays all clean. And then when you're in a commercial kitchen, if you didn't know this, you're supposed to air dry all of your dishes and everything. You're not supposed to use a towel or paper towels, anything like that, because that could recontaminate what you just washed. So I take it out of the dishwasher, put it over here, and have this all dried. Other people use this kitchen, so that's why there's other things here. But it's got the sink to do everything with. This is an area where I can get all the sanitization that I need to clean all the counters, things like that. And one of the things that I really was attracted to me for this place in particular is that they had a stand-up freezer that had at least 4 or 5 different shelves that I could do all my food prep, my fruit prep, and then I could pre-freeze that product with all the trays and everything, so that I can maximize my time that I'm in here, that I'm paying rent every hour. And then when I come in like this, I'm really just not even using much of an hour. I'm just putting stuff into the freeze dryer, and that's about it at the time that I'm renting. So let's go ahead and I'll show you this this freezer. So in here I've got my blueberries in here that are pre-frozen, and then I've got 1 tray of strawberries. Now also in this kitchen, they've got all of this appliances in case there is like caterers, which they have occasionally some caterers that come in here. So they use like the stove top and things like that. They've even got a commercial refrigerator over there. And then I've got basically my prep table here. I've also got my freeze dryer, and then there's another area that I've got another freeze dryer as well. So I've got 2 freeze dryers in here. This is the main one that I showcase for all of you to do all of my different videos. That's a large Harvest Right freeze dryer. All right, quick update on my business specifically. It's called Freeze Dry Depot. If you haven't looked it up, go ahead and look it up. It's freezedrydepot.com. Now, the way I've set up my business, the reason I say it's a sustainable business for my own kind of side hustle, side business, is I've got a couple freeze dryers. I've got several wholesale clients that are consistently buying every single month, maybe 4 to 6 weeks. They always put an order in. And then I have like a 50, and sometimes I up it during the holidays to a 75 product order minimum. So they're always ordering 50 items. And then I also have really dedicated myself to making sure I have a very strong website search result. So my website, if you're not familiar, a website has what they call, you have search engine optimization within a website. So Google as a search engine, Bing, Yahoo, all of those websites that are searchable they're searching all different types of websites almost instantaneously when you type in something. So when someone types in freeze-dried candy, Boise, freeze-dried candy, Idaho, I wanted to make sure that I showed up for that. And so I dedicated a lot of time to make sure that I made sure that all of the kind of content, the pages, and the different elements like social media, things like that, all played a role in making sure that I came up number 1, or at least at minimum on the first page of Google, so that everyone would go to my website if they were searching for freeze-dried something in Idaho. So that's also how I've been focusing my business to be sustainable, is that I get website orders from a variety of different people because of my search engine optimization and where I rank on Google. I would highly advise that. This is a tip during this vlog for you, is that if you're watching this far into the video, my tip is to dedicate yourself to understanding search engine optimization, or partner and pay for someone to help you with that. Because the legwork that you're gonna put in for your own individual website for freeze drying as a business is gonna be paying back tenfold 3, 4, 5 years, even 10 years from now, no matter where you're at. If you still have the business, even as a side business, or maybe you've grown it exponentially, you're gonna reap the rewards of search engine optimization in the long term. So dedicate yourself to that. There are a lot of different ways that you can build that. You can type into Google and look for search engine optimization tips. You can have someone help you do that for your own website, or you can do it yourself and learn it. So I just kind of have a background in that, so it came kind of naturally for me, but I still have to dedicate myself to understanding new concepts, things like that. Now, if you don't have a website, it doesn't really work like that, right? Google does rank Facebook pages and Instagram pages and YouTube videos, but it's not as strong as a website where Google sees different content, meaning a blog post, a paragraph, images, things like that that are on a website. So if you don't have a website, I would advise you to get one for free using Wix, Squarespace. Those types of platforms have free options for you. Freeze dryer is pretty much almost to 32 degrees. I've got the blueberries out that, again, I've already pre-poked with the roller berry. Again, I use baking sheets to pre-freeze, and then what I use is Reynolds freezer paper, and I use the shiny side up so that it doesn't stick, and then I put them on the tray. So that's what we're gonna do right now, and they just go right on the tray. Now, the blueberries that I bought, I found a really sweet deal, and they were only $2 for 18 ounces of blueberries. So, I mean, that's just a great deal, because it was only just a couple of months ago, even a month ago, that I had done a YouTube short, and actually I did another video where of my vlog where I went to Winco and I showed you what the prices was, and it was double that price. It was $4. Okay, so that's about how much blueberries is on the tray from 2 cartons of the 18-ounce cartons of the blueberries. So I'm videotaping this, so normally it goes by really fast, but this is pretty much what I've done. I've already done all the prep work. So if you can have one dedicated day to where you're prepping, you know, let's say 15 baking sheets worth of blueberries and strawberries and things like that, wow, you can really kind of just go, all you have to do is now in your commercial kitchen that you rent or you have, you're putting all that fruit in as for the cycle, and then you're done. Then you can walk away. The biggest part of that was the prepping side, and then obviously you got your bagging day, things like that. But if you could really maximize all your prep work, and then you're maximizing the amount of time, and that way you're basically getting at least 3 cycles worth of all that fruit. Man, that could maintain about a week's worth of driving back and forth just to only just take the food out, put it in your buckets, put the food in, take them out. That whole process, that's a whole week's worth, and then you have the next week that you're doing all the prep work. It's just you got to choose kind of your battles and choose what you're dedicating yourself to. This really is the fun part about freeze drying. You know, I've stuck to kind of my same core fruit, which is blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, strawberry banana mix, and apples. And that's kind of my core. I don't want to have all these different types of fruits because it's just more time that I have to dedicate to prepping them, doing different cycles to make sure I have enough. It's just you got to choose kind of your battles and choose what you're dedicating yourself to. There's a lot of things to freeze dry, but again, like, you can either have a core set of 20 products, including candy, fruit, ice cream if you can do it, or you can try to go, you know, hog wild and, you know, do 40 different items. But I'm telling you, you're not going to want to do that, especially when you're looking at different flavors, things like that. Just find what works well, what you'd like to do, and stick with that. All right, so the harvest rate, it was already pre-frozen. Now I pressed continue, and so now it kicks on the freezing cycle, and then, you know, you don't have to do anything more. I closed the drain valve, so now it's going to do its whole freeze-drying cycle. But that is the day in the life of a freeze-dry business owner in Boise, Idaho. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to watch more of my vlog series, I've got it in a playlist on my YouTube channel. If you like the video, hit like or subscribe. I'd love for you to join my channel. Thanks again for all of you who contribute to commenting, sending me emails. You guys are all awesome. And until next time, do something great in your community using your freeze-dried business. We'll see you again next time on the Freeze Dried Business channel. Cheers.